What's up, Internet? My name is JB, and I am back here today with my draft recap for Season 5 of the PBL, the Professional Battlers League, and the unveiling of my new team logo here on YouTube. If you guys are following me on Twitter, you've probably seen it already. I am now the coach of the Colorado Bouffalants. Sick new logo. I spent like 30 minutes on. It's the only thing I don't really like about it is the font. I'm probably going to touch that up later, but I mean, hey, for the purposes of this and like getting a logo so other leagues could promote their Twitters, it's fine. It's fine. Yeah, but anyway, before we get into my team, I should probably go over how the PBL draft works. You had 800 points to spend on as many Pokemon and as many Z Crystals as you want, with the pricings being OU Pokemon 100, BL1, or UUBL. It's UUBL now. Gotta remember that. UUBL being 90, UU Pokemon themselves being 75, RUBL 60, RU 50, NUBL 40, and then everything NU and below was 25, and Z Crystals were 50. So that's how the pricing worked. You had 800 points to spend, however the hell you wanted. So yeah, it's a little bit weird, a little bit dumb in my opinion. But you could draft 8 OU Pokemon if you wanted, or you could draft 32 PU Pokemon or whatever. Anyway, let's just go ahead and get into the team that your Bouffalants will be using this season. I had the 10th pick out of 14 players, and I wanted some power. Of course you want power with your first overall pick. That only makes sense. So thankfully this Pokemon managed to fall to me. It really shouldn't have, but I'm glad it did, and that was Mega Latios, if I can click. Yeah, Mega Latios was my first round pick. This thing is a monster. It probably should not be available that late in a round. It's one of the best Pokemon in the format. It's just got such ridiculous bulk with 80 HP, 120 defense, and 150 special defense. It's absolutely absurd. This thing just does not die. You pretty much have to Toxic it if you want to get rid of it, and even then it gets access to Refresh, so it doesn't really care about your Toxics. It's got fantastic offensive stats as well. Base 100 attack is very usable. Base 140 special attack is phenomenal, and then 110 speed is a very, very good speed tier. Spoiler alert, this is probably the best my speed tiers have ever been in a draft, and it wasn't really something I like tried to do, it just happened to work out that way, and I'm very, very happy with how my speed tiers turned out for this draft. But yeah, Mega Latios is an absolutely fantastic Pokemon with a very, very good move pool. Just to mention a few things, of course, Stab, anything in Dragon. It's a very, very, very good user of Calm Mind. Gets grass coverage and Energy Ball and Grass Knot. Ice Beam, Dual Screens, Psychic and Psyshock Stab, Shadow Ball for coverage, as well as Surf and T-Ball. It also has access to Healing Wish as well as Wish. It's just an overall fantastic Pokemon and very worthy of a first round pick. Next up, I wanted something that paired well with Mega Latios, both offensively, and I wanted something that was a speed tier above 110, because that was something that was a bit of a problem for me last season in the PBL. My speed tiers were a little bit bad, so my fastest Pokemon was Tornadus, if that tells you anything. So I wanted to have some higher speed tier mons this time around, and so I decided to grab my boy Weavile. I've used this thing several times in several different leagues, and it's never disappointed me. It's just such a hard-hitting Pokemon and incredibly fast as well. 120 attack as well as 125 speed, both phenomenal stats. And it has respectable base 85 HP, base 70 HP as well. Respectable stats. As long as it's not like a super effective special attack, you can probably switch Weavile in and it'll live, like if you absolutely need to. Like say you're switching into like a Giga Drain, Weavile can probably live a Giga Drain. Especially since it has such a high speed stat, oftentimes I won't be needing to run absolute max speed, so I could slap a little bit of bulk in there and just like take hits even better. It's just, Weavile is a very good Pokemon. And it has one of the hardest dual stabs to switch into in the entire game, being both Dark and Ice. Both hit incredibly hard. And it's just a little bit, it's just gotta be really fun. Like I said, I've used this thing a ton of times before. Very good move pool as well. Focus Punch, more on that later. Just to start it off, you can Brick Break to get rid of the screens. It has access to Agility as well as Fake Out. Foul Play is a good move. Of course, Priority, Ice Shard, Icicle Crash, Ice Punch, whatever you need. It also has Low Kick, which is a very good move. Poison Jab for the fairies. Shadow Call is a nice move to have. It's one of the best knockoff spammers in the entire game, as well as one of the best pursuit trappers in the entire game. It's fast Tauntmon, you guys know I love that, and it's just, yeah. Also gets Sword Sense as well. It's just a fantastic Pokemon overall. And it fits so well with Mega Latios, of course, resisting those fighting type hits that Weavile does not want to take, as well as resisting fire hits that Weavile does not want to take. So, moving on to our next pick, and this is where the sniping started, pew pew, if you will. I decided to be nice and let a guy who got skipped twice in his first 3 picks make a pick. Like, he got back. He was right after me, but it was coming back up the draft, and he got back right as like his timer ended for that round. So I'm like, you know what, dude, just make your pick, it's fine. And he ended up taking the Pokemon I wanted. Unfortunately, I didn't think anyone would take like a round 3 Empoleon, but he took a round 3 Empoleon. Well, round 2 for him, Empoleon. So I was a little bit upset. So I just went to the next thing I knew I wanted on my list and decided to like repair the missing Steel and Water situation later. So I just decided to grab Gengar, and I'm pretty sure this is like the best offensive Psychic, Dark, Ghost core you can put together. Like, find me a better one, and without using Ubers, and I'll be impressed. It's just these 3 mons are just ridiculously hard hitting. Of course, Gengar also having the base 110 speed, same as Latios. It's a little bit meh to have like 2 Pokemon with the exact same speed stat, but I really don't care that much. I just wanted type coverage, as well as Pokemon I wanted to use, as well as good Pokemon, if that makes sense. 130 special attack on Gengar is phenomenal. Its bulk is a little bit trash, but who cares? This thing hits so hard and is very fast, it doesn't really matter. It's going to be ran oftentimes, mostly just purely offensive, whereas, you know, Latios can have the option of being offensive or a bulky jerk. So, it's very nice. Very, very nice. Again, getting back into Gengar, though, it has another just very good offensive typing that is really hard to switch into, but Ghost and Poison hit a lot of stuff very hard, besides Steel types. I mean, just don't tell anyone to bring their Steel types against me, please. Okay, thank you. But yeah, Gengar is another Pokemon with an incredible move pool. Clear Smog's great to prevent setup. Dark Pulse, Destiny Bond's nice to have. Grass coverage with Energy Ball and Giga Drain. It gets Focus Blast as well, more on that later. And, you know, I mean, Focus Blast is just a good move anyway. Energy Ball is nice. I already said Energy Ball. It also gets access to all 3 Elemental Punches, and you guys know I like to be weird, so hey. It also has access to Haze. If you're worried about a Steel type setting up, you have Haze to prevent that as well. It's a niche knockoff option if you need it. Of course, you know, it gets access to stuff like Pain Split, as well as Psychic for coverage. Obviously, Stab Shadow Balls are a thing, as well as Stab Sludge Bomb and Sludge Wave. It's another fast taunt mon, has access to Thunderbolt and Will-O-Wisp as well. It's another really good offensive mon with a very good move pool and hits really hard. I love it. I'm excited to use it. It's another one of those Pokemon. I mentioned this pretty much every draft review I do, but it's another one of those Pokemon I've just always wanted to use in a league, and now I am. So next pick. You know, I got my Steel type snipe, so I had to do a little bit of gymnastics, if you will, to fix that. And I didn't really want to spend all the points on this, but I decided to do it anyway because it's an absolutely fantastic Pokemon, and I just decided to grab Skarmory because, look at Skarmory, man. It's one of the coolest mons of all time. Not to mention it's got a fantastic physical defense stat of base 140, and decent, respectable base 80 attack. Its HP and Spadef are a little bit meh, as well as its speed being a little bit meh. But fortunately, its physical defense is so high, you oftentimes don't need to be running max physical defense, so you can slap a lot into your Spadef and still take special hits as well. It's just an overall fantastic Pokemon with just great typing defensively. And it gets a decent move pool. It's one of the best defoggers in the game, first and foremost. It also gets access to Stealth Rock as well as Spikes. And it's, you know, got Roost for longevity, Tailwind support, Whirlwind support. It's another Tauntmon. SD Wink Armor is a thing. Just saying. It's another Pursuit Trapper. Stab Iron Heads are nice. Stab Brave Braids. It doesn't do a whole lot, but it can be ran offensively. But most of the time, it's just gonna be a fat, annoying bird, and that's exactly what I like. And that's exactly what I needed in a Steel type. Helps out a little bit, you know, with our. It helps out a little bit with Gengar's ground weakness, but we already had Latios for that, so it doesn't really matter. And Latios also covers the dragon, or not the dragon, the fire and electric weakness of this thing, of Skarmory. So that was pretty nice. Pretty nice addition to the team. Very good fit overall, in my opinion. Build a nice little Fairy Dragon Steel core as well. You know, got my Mega Latios and my Skarmory as well. Building those cores slowly but surely. You guys know I don't care too much about cores, but I like to have them anyway. So next up, I got sniped by the same guy again. I wanted Shaman. Really wanted Shaman. It's a cute Pokemon. I wanted to use it. But, you know, I had to go ahead and take the other grass Pixie with base 100 stats, and we decided to grab Celebi. I used Celebi in the PCA for a few weeks before having to drop it because my team was so weak to fire. And I was playing an Infernape team, and I'm just like, okay, I have no switch-ins to that. I need to get a switch-in. So I did that. So I unfortunately haven't got to fully use Celebi entirely, but I really, really like Celebi. It's got a little bit more going for Shaman. A little bit more going for it than Shaman, obviously, and honestly, rather, not honestly. It's just, they're different Pokemon, and they do different things, and they do different things very well. Whereas Shaman is a little bit more self-sufficient, Celebi provides a little bit more team support. With stuff like Healing Bell, Healing Wish, U-Turn, stuff like that. It's also a Baton Pass option, which is allowed in this league. You Baton Pass 1 stat, so Nasty Pass is a thing. As well as being another Stealth Arc option for the team. I'm pretty sure I said that. I don't know if I did or not, but it is a Stealth Arc option for the team, which that is something Shaman is nuts. It's a pretty good Calm Mind user. Has some decent coverage on it. Not as much as Shaman, I would say, but still respectable. They both have access to a Dazzling Gleam and Earth Power, which is very nice. And the thing is, Celebi doesn't really have that one, like, it doesn't have Seed Flare. That's what I wanted, man. I wanted Seed Flare. Celebi doesn't have that signature move that just blows things away, but it does have, you know, stuff like Heal Bell and Healing Wish for team support, which is fine, which is comparable and better in some situations, and I think better overall. But maybe not better for my team because my team's a little bit weak to U-turn now, more weak to U-turns. Shaman's also weak to U-turn, but Celebi's ×4 weak to U-turn, which is a little bit scary, but it's not the end of the world. Of course, it has access to pretty much any grass move, whether the Sun, Energy Ball, Giga Drain, Grass Knot, Leaf Storm, you name it. It doesn't get physical grass moves. It gets Seed Bomb. It doesn't get Leaf Blade or anything, unfortunately. It's a U-turn option itself. It's a good trick user. It gets Thunder Wave as well. Synthesis for recovery. Overall, just a great mon, and I'm really excited to actually give it a fair shot and see if it's a good league mon or not. I hear great things from people who have used it, and I hear bad things from Dorian who hates it, but I think it'll be fun. So moving on to my next mon, and I was just like, you know what? I was looking for some just really cool move pool stuff, and a Pokemon that just really fit the team, and just really, really hit hard. Did a lot of things, and did a lot of things well offensively, and I just decided to grab Lucario. I'm really excited about this pick. I am really excited about this pick. Look at the attack stats, man. 110 physical attack, 115 special attack, is that right? That is right. Okay, just making sure. 90 speed is also, it's a little bit mid, but you know, it helps out with the speed tiers. It helps out with the speed tiers. I got 110, 125, 100, and now I got 90. So, building up a nice little tiering, man. It's working out well, I think. But just ignore the steel typing on Lucario. This thing is not a steel type, which is why I had originally planned to take both Empoleon and this as well, because the main reason I didn't want to draft Lucario as my only steel type because it doesn't resist Fairy. It's the same problem I have with Cobalion. Cobalion's a fantastic Pokemon, but it's not a Fairy resist, and I draft my steel types to be Fairy resists. And yeah, that Lucario is a fighting type that just so happens to get stabbed from steel moves. So, and as a fighting type, though, this thing is absolutely phenomenal. It gets priority out the butthole with Bullet Punch, Vacuum Wave, and Extreme Speed, all great moves. It gets just like ridiculous amounts of setup as well. I don't know if it's the only mon, but it's one of the very few mons that has access to Bulk Up, Calm Mind, Bulk Up, Calm Mind, Swords Dance, and Nasty Play. It has access to all 4 of them. It's one of the very few mons that does. I don't know if it's the only one. It might be, but it has access to all 4, as well as having access to Agility to boost its speed. It's just a setup machine. It gets just ridiculous coverage as well. Like every fighting move you can think of. It gets Crunch and Dark Pulse for dark coverage. Dragon Pulse is nice to have. Earthquake, Flash Cannon, Focus Blast, Focus Punch, more on that later. High Jump Kick if you want to miss. Ice Punch, Low Kick, Meteor Mash, Poison Jab if you want to hit a Bulu. Power Up Punch is nice to have. Quick Attack for even more priority, but Extreme Speed is better. It's a Roar option, I don't know why you'd ever do that. Rock Slide, Shadow Ball, Shadow Claw, Stone Edge, Thunder Punch, Zen Headbutt. It's got so much going for it. It hits so hard. I honestly think this might be one of my team's kill leaders, and I hope it is, because I really want to have some fun with this mon. Just doing gross things and whatever I can to just, like, yeah. Lucario's gonna have some fun this season, I think. I really like its move pool, and I really like how hard it hits and how well it fits with the squad. I'm excited about it. So we move on to our next pick, and I'm like, okay, I probably should grab my water. And I'm like, alright, I just missed out on my Melodic a few picks ago. It's not the end of the world. And unfortunately, I didn't really want to grab either Slowbro, Slowking, or Jellicent because I already had 2 Psychic types and a Ghost type. So I'm like, alright, maybe we stay away from those. So I just decided to go with even more offensive power. Say, screw it, we're going offense. We are going all out on killing everything. And I just decided to grab Feraligatr. Oh wait, that speed's wrong. That's supposed to be 78 speed. Not changing it, my bad. But the thing about Feraligatr, of course, you know, it has that ability Sheer Force, but it's not exactly a frail Pokemon. Base 85 HP is very good, 100 defense is very good, and 83 Speed F is also very, very solid. Like, it's got solid bulk, man. Like, you wouldn't expect a Pokemon that just sweeps teams to have such decent bulk, but Feraligatr provides that. You know, it's not your stereotypical fat water, but it's a good enough bulky water for the team when I have enough bulk on the team, I think. It's another mon that's just going to have a lot of fun this season. Pure water typing with the ability Sheer Force, fantastic coverage as well. This thing is just going to hit like a freaking monster. Just to go over its move pool. Of course, you know, it has the Dragon Dance Sheer Force shenanigans where it just kills everything. Aqua Jet for priority. It also has access to Agility, Swords Dance if you want to go that route, but I think just clicking Dragon Dance twice would be better in most cases. It has access to... Jesus, man. Brick Break to get rid of screens. Body Slam is a nice move to have. Crunch for coverage. Dragon Claw for coverage as well. Dragon Dance, like I already mentioned. Earthquake. Dragon Tail, even. I probably should mention that. Focus Punch, more on that later. Ice Punch as well. Ice Fang, both decent moves. Probably want to run Ice Punch more often than not. Liquidation's better than Waterfall now because Sheer Force ignores the secondary abilities anyway, and Liquidation hits harder. It gets Low Kick, which is a nice move to have. So it's Outrage, Power Up Punch, Rock Slide, Shadow Claw for coverage. I already said Rock Slide. Superpower, as well as, you know, Swords Dance, like I mentioned earlier. It's just, this thing's gonna hit very hard, and I'm a little bit iffy on whether or not I'd rather have like an actual, you know, air quotes fat water, but I'm fine with. I think I'll be fine with Feraligatr. I think Feraligatr's gonna do the job as a water type. I don't really have access to like a Scald spamming mon though, which is a little bit annoying, but F it, I'll be fine, I think. But moving on to my next Pokemon, and I didn't have my ground type yet, so I'm like, alright, should probably pick it up now just to make sure I get it. Even though it's a low tier mon, I just wanted to make sure I got the ground type I wanted so I didn't get sniped again. This is what I wanted from the beginning of the draft anyway, and it's Mudsdale. I love this Pokemon. It's just adorable. It's a nice little horse. I love horse. It's a fantastic ground type. It's another one of those Pokemon that doesn't do a whole lot, but what it does, it does well. And it's just a sponge, dude. Stamina is a fantastic ability. Every time it takes damage, it raises its defense by 1 stage. Meaning, more often than not, you can afford to run a Speed F set, or you can just run an ultimate like physical wall and just shut down your opponent's physical attackers. It's pretty damn great. It's also a Stealth Rock option, taking pressure off of Celebi and Skarmory to not want to have to run rocks every week, so that's nice. It's got great stats all around, 100 HP, 100 defense, 85 Speed F, 125 attack. Its special attack and speed are irrelevant because who cares, but yeah, it doesn't have the best move pool, but you know, it has access to stuff like Close Combat, Earthquake. It's thick, so Heavy Slam's are going to do a lot. It also gets access to Iron Head if Heavy Slam doesn't do enough to something for whatever reason. Low Kick is a nice move to have, and like I already mentioned, Stealth Rock. It's a very good user of like Roar, because it just sponges hits and like prevents setup that way. It's very good Roarmon, and yeah, I'm gonna have a ton of fun with this. I'm currently using it in the HBA. Well, I don't know if I'm still currently using it in the HBA because that league's been sort of asleep for a while. I don't know if it's ever gonna wake up again. Is that okay to say? I'm not really sure. Anyway, yeah, I'm really excited about Mudsdale. I like the Pokemon, and I think it's gonna be a ton of fun. And see if it can actually function as a ground type, like a solo ground type on a team. I think it'll be a lot of fun. So next up, I didn't have a fairy. I'm like, okay, should probably grab a fairy. Probably want one of those. I hear they're pretty good. And originally my plan was to take a second Z Crystal, which I haven't got to my first one yet, but I've been dropping hints. I bet you guys can guess. My original plan was to take a second Z Crystal and like Granbull or Comfey or something. About like, wait a minute, Z Crystal 50 points, in U and below 25 points. I can just grab a UU Fairy and not really need a second Z Crystal. So I just decided to grab a UU Fairy and take Sylveon. It just made so much more sense to me when I realized Sylveon was still available at this point, because my Fairy Dragon Steel Core is ridiculously thick now. I got Skarmory, Mega Latios, and now Sylveon. It's just that's pretty thick, man. And like Sylveon and Skarmory are like the inverse of each other, where like Skarmory has physical defense, Sylveon has special defense, and like they cancel each other out, like so they just function really well together, man. I'm really excited about that core. If I can breathe. All right. Yeah, the thing Sylveon does really well. It's a fat blob. It's a fat pink blob that heals a team. It's got Heal Bell, Wish, support, as well as just being able to click Pixelate boosted, Hyper Voices, and stuff like that. It can be ran offensively. It's a good Baton Pass user if need be. Like, I can't really pass any stats, but it can, you know, Wish Baton Pass to, like, get in safely sometimes, or, like, you know, I predict my opponent to switch, I can Baton Pass out. If I get a play wrong, it's whatever, you know, it's that sort of whole Baton Pass with dry Baton Pass, if you will. Going in dry with Baton Pass. Who am I? But yeah, Sylveon's just a great fairy. It was a no-brainer when I realized it was still around. I'm like, okay, yep, that works. It's got, you know, decent coverage with stuff like Psychic as well as Shadow Ball. I already mentioned the Hyper Voice as well as Heal Bell and Wish. It gets Magic Coat, which is a nice move to have. Yeah, just overall fantastic Pokemon. It's a good Calm Mind user. It's a good Specs user as well if you want to run offensive. Like, Sylveon's a great mon, and I'm pretty excited about it. It's a real no-brainer. So now we get to the point of the draft where I think it's time to start having a little bit of fun, but still draft good Pokemon. I think it's time to really start digging through the PU tier and grab some cool stuff. So with our next pick, I decided to grab our boy Electros. I've used this in the past, and you guys might be thinking, why didn't I grab Electivire? Electivire is sort of my thing. But I didn't really want to grab an abundance of ground weaknesses, because spoiler alert, the next two Pokemon are both weak to ground, and I wanted to make sure like I had, you know, another ground immunity / resist. And Electros just made more sense for that reason, because it has Levitate, and it's still an electric type. Same as Electivire, obviously. But yeah, it has Levitate, so it has actually no weaknesses, which is obviously a fantastic thing to have. And it's got some real good stats on it. The only low stat is speed, but I mean, hey, slow U-turns and Volt Switches, which it gets both of, by the way, are good to have. They're good to like have switch initiative. That's the one thing I'll say is pretty bad about this team. I don't have like good Volt Turn options, but I have good enough Volt Turn options. They're not good, but they're good enough. I got slow Volt Turn here, and I have sort of fast U-turn and Celebi, if I want to run like a Scar Celebi or whatever. But anyway, back to Electros. It's got some good bulk on it. Base 85 HP, 80s in both defenses, 115 attack and 105 special attack. Phenomenal stats all around. Very, very good Assault Vest user. And it's also like a good like choice user or Life Orb user if you really want to. But most of the time, you're just going to slap an Assault Vest on this thing and it's not going to die. Like, it's a good special sponge as well because of that. And it's got a phenomenal move pool. Acid Spray is a nice move to have. Aqua Tail, Brick Break, Crunch, Discharge, Dragon Claw, Dragon Pulse, and Dragon Tail. Drain Punch and Giga Drain for recovery. Fire Punch and Flamethrower for fire coverage. Flash Cannon, Focus Punch, more on that later. It's, you know, of course, got Giga Drain as well as Grass Knot, I already mentioned that. Good knockoff user, it gets one screen, it gets Light Screen. Light Screen, Assault Vest, new meta. It gets Outrage, Power Up Punch. Let's see, what else we got here? Rock Slide, Signal Beam, Superpower, Thunder, any electric move in the game. It gets, you know, like a Thunderbolt, Thunder Punch, Thunder Wave, Volt Switch, Wild Charge. Has access to U-turn as well, so if you predict the ground type to come in, click that U-turn, get on out that way as well. Super Fang's a nice move to have. It's a good Pokemon. It's a really good Pokemon for 25 points when you're getting low on points. My last 100 points were like, alright, I already know what I'm doing. I could draft another Umon, but nah, I'm drafting 4 PU Umons. And I still needed a few types, so it wouldn't really make sense to draft another Umon here. Anyway. Moving on to our next pick. You guys saw me talk about this a little bit in the NADL finals match where it sort of destroyed half my team. And I don't remember if I said it outright or not, but I pretty much hinted that this would be on the next team I drafted. And that's Rampardos, man. This thing is fun. This thing is just a monster. It has 2 of the absolute best abilities in the game in Mold Breaker and Sheer Force. And coupling that with base 165 physical attack is just out of this world. 97 HP is also a good stat, and its defenses and speed are a little bit low, but I mean it gets Rock Polish, boost that speed up, and then you can just run through a team with Sheer Force, Life Orb, Rock Polish. It's a little bit gross. And not to mention Rock being one of the harder types to switch into offensively. Only really Steel and Fighting flat out resist that, and yeah, just it hits like pretty much everything else in the game for neutral. I'm probably missing something. I think Ground also resists, but yeah, it hits a lot of just types just really freaking hard. And like I said, coupling that with base 165 physical attack is just absurd. Going over this thing's move pool, it gets a really good move pool too. Really good move pool. It's super offensive. It gets Avalanche if you're not running. Rock Polish, it gets Brick Break to get rid of screens, Crunch for coverage. Dragon Tail's nice, Earthquake and Earth Power. It's got, you know, Sheer Force, so its special moves are nothing to laugh at. Fire Blast and Fire Punch, as well as Flamethrower. Focus Punch, more on that later. Hammer Arm's a nice move to have. It gets, it doesn't get Ice Punch, but it does get Ice Beam. It gets Iron Head, Outrage. It gets Pan Split, what the hell? It's a good Pursuit Trapper as well. Power Up Punch. Rock Polish, like I said a couple times already. Rock Slide. It's another Stealth Rock option, taking pressure off our other Stealth Rockers. Don't think I'll ever run Stealth Rocks on this thing. If I'm bringing it to take lives. I skipped Head Smash, but Head Smash is obviously an amazing move. Base 150. Rock Stab. I mean, it takes half from recoil, but who cares, man? It's killing something. If it's not resisted. If it's not a Steel type, it's dead. It gets Stone Edge, like I said, for Stab. Super Powder's a nice move to have. Thunder Punch, Thunderbolt. It gets Whirlwind for some reason. It also gets Zen Headbutt, and it gets some pretty cool stuff down in the Yonder Sphere as well that I won't mention yet. But it's an overall great Pokemon, and I'm looking forward to having a lot of fun just taking souls with this thing. He's ready, man. Rampardos is ready for the spotlight. So, moving on to our next to last pick. Well, our next to last Pokemon pick. And I want to give a shout out to Dark Devil 26, aka Brendan. He has this thing, my buddy Brendan. He has this thing in the PMC, and I'm like, okay, this mon just looks like a ton of fun. I kind of really want to use it, and that's Rapidash. It just looks really fun. It doesn't have the best stats or move pool, but it's fun, and it has that 105 speed tier that really fit my team nicely. Base 100 attack as well, usable base 80 special attack, and the rest of its stats are sort of, you know, just there. Flash Fire and Flame Body, 2 solid abilities as well. I didn't mention Runaway because it's Runaway. Who mentions that? It's got Agility Baton Pass, which is something that's fun. I didn't know it got Baton Pass when I first drafted it, but I'm like, okay, that's something even better. It makes it even cooler to me. So I'm really excited about Rapidash, man. It's a decent move pool. Body Slam, something nice. Drill Run, but Stomping Tantrum's better. Or not Stomping Tantrum. High Horsepower is better. It also has stuff like, you know, any fire move you could ever want. Fire Blast, Flame Charge, Flamethrower, Flare Blitz, of course. Low Kicks, and again, a nice thing for coverage. Mega Horn, Poison Jab, Overheat hits incredibly hard. It gets Wild Charge as well as Will-O-Wisp. Quick Attack for priority. This thing should be pretty fun. I'm excited about it. I don't know how great it'll be because it doesn't have like the most diverse move pool, but it has a fun move pool and it does a lot of cool things. And I think I'm gonna have some fun with the pony. It's time, or the unicorn rather. It's more of a unicorn than a pony. Yeah, it's definitely more of a unicorn than a pony. What am I saying? So, moving on to my last Pokemon pick. And this is another thing that I picked up from, you know, seeing a friend use it in a different league. And this is Ursaring. This bear is pissed off and he's just angry. This is an angry ass bear and he's coming for some souls. Look at the stats, man. 90 HP, base 75 bulk. Speed's a little bit meh, but it has Quick Feet to make up for that. Special attack is usable, but I mean, of course, base 130 physical attack with the Guts ability. And Facade. Stab Facade. Coming off of this thing, the only thing switching in is a Ghost type. The only thing switching in that's a Ghost type, because it has both great fighting coverage as well as Earthquake for Steel types that want to switch in. Or even Fire coverage, because it gets Fire Punch. Like, this thing is absurdly good. Especially for 25 points. Especially as your 13th Mon in a league where you can have as many Pokemon as you want. I have, it gets access to Avalanche, Stab, Body Slam, Brick Break, Close Combat, Bulk Up. Don't run Cross Chop, it's a bad move. Crunch as well, Stab Double Edge, Earthquake, Facade like I mentioned. An absolutely phenomenal move with Stab, and guys, it's ridiculous how hard that hits. You guys don't even know how hard that hits. Run some calcs with Adamant, Ursaring with Guts, Facade. Like, just run some calcs on some like resisted Pokemon. Obviously not like a Steelix or something, but like, I don't know, man. Just run some cal. It hits so freaking hard. Fire Punch, like I mentioned already. Focus Punch, more on that later. Gunk Shot for fairy coverage, poison coverage, whatever, you know what I mean. It hits fairies, that's what I meant to say. Hammer Arm, let's see, it gets Ice Punch as well as Low Kick, another Low Kick bond, which is nice. Night Slash, Play Rough, Power Up Punch, Rock Slide, Seed Bomb, Shadow Claw, Stone Edge, Super Power, it's another taunt user. Swords Dance, Thunder Punch, this thing gets Swords Dance. Imagine +2 Guts, Stab, Facade! You're reaching levels of damage that should not be possible with a PU Pokemon. Oh my god. Oh hey, guess what? It also has access to Belly Drum, by the way. Like, this thing is not right. It's not right how hard this mon hits. I'm excited about this, and he's angry. He's angry that he's this low tiered in draft. And he's ready to freaking prove that he's a good Pokemon. Ursaring's here for some souls, boys. Prepare to give them to him. I don't know what the hell I'm saying. I sound ridiculous. It's Pokemon. It's bear. It's gonna kill other Pokemon. Moving on to my Z Crystal. Of course, it's Titanium Z. I've been dropping hints all video with them all on that latest stuff, but it was a no-brainer. Like, legitimately, the only Pokemon on my team that can't take good advantage of this are like Celebi and Mega Latios. And Sylveon, I guess. Legitimately everything else can take advantage of Titanium Z in some way, shape, or form. It was a no-brainer. I drafted it like in between Feraligatr and Mudsdale, I think, but I didn't want to interrupt the Pokemon for that, so I just put it here at the end. Yeah, it was a no-brainer, especially with stuff like Lucario and Gengar as the Focus Blast, obviously for Gengar, and then like Lucario being a fantastic fighting type with just ridiculous coverage and hits incredibly hard on both sides of the spectrum. It was a no-brainer. Titanium Z was the Z Crystal I wanted, and it's the Z Crystal I took. So yeah, there's not a whole lot to explain there. And yeah, this is my squad for Season 5 of the PBL. This is the Colorado Bouffalants first team that we drafted as the Bouffalants. I don't know why that matters. No mascot pick because I really wanted to use Ursaring. So sorry, Bouffalant, you always have a special place in my heart. Obviously, you're like the 14th man, if you will. I don't know what the hell I'm saying, but yeah, this team is really fun. It's super offensive, but it still has very good bulk as well. And I'm really pumped to use this. I'm really pumped to prep with this team. It's gonna be a lot of fun. So if you guys are excited, go ahead, hit that subscribe button, stick around for a while, and I'll see you guys when week 1 starts. Thanks for watching. Peace out.